Once upon a time, boy and girl meet, they fall in love, get married, and live happily ever after. The end. Now rewind, stop, and play. Once upon a time, boy and girl meet, they fall in love, get married, they start to fight, they give up, get a divorce, and they go their separate ways. The end. The end of marriage is becoming an exceedingly normal thing to accept. Although most of us are not married yet, I can bet that at least half of this class, according to easing articles, has had to watch a happily ever after turn into a tragedy or a disaster that we also call divorce. To have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish from this day forward as long as we both shall live. So easily those words are forgotten. Words that two people meant wholeheartedly but gave up so easily. And that's the problem. Couples are resorting to divorce to solve problems that could have been solved before a small issue became deal-breaking in one. I believe this popular solution called divorce could be ruled out completely if premarital counseling was required, if couples could truly make more time to get to know each other, and if the legal process of getting married was not as simple as applying and then waiting a month for approval. I believe there should be a series of steps that someone has to go through to get married. The first thing we need to do to fix this problem is have therapy before marriage. Yes, therapy before marriage. It sounds silly because if we're going to have therapy before marriage and we already have problems, why should we get married, right? Wrong. You need to know if you're compatible. There's small issues and big issues. Some of the big issues of compatibility that you need to know about are things that are most obvious, like kids or no kids. If you want kids and your husband or wife doesn't, that's going to create a really big problem in the future. Another one is religious preferences. If someone's Buddhist and someone's Catholic, you're going to have some issues. Someone believes in God, someone believes in Buddha. They're not the same at all. One's a fat man, one's something we can't even see. So you're going to have some issues. Another one that's big is money, especially right now with the economy the way it is. How are you going to spend your money? How are you going to budget your money? Are you going to save it for retirement? Who makes more money? Is it a problem if the woman makes more money, boys? Maybe. But money is a really big issue. Okay, the article titled Getting Married Checklist states that the success or failure of a marriage may hinge on how well a couple deals with issues such as financial assets, communication, conflict, parenting, and spirituality. So it is important that the future spouses consider and fully discuss these before getting married. Compatibility is not only big issues, it's small issues too. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Four Christmases, maybe, but they have an issue with vacationing. They always go vacationing on Christmas, and one Christmas they get caught on the news because their flight got canceled and they have to go visit all their parents. And so that could be an issue too. Where are you going to spend your holidays? Do you want a vacation? Are you going to live in the same place for your whole life, or are you going to go somewhere else? Also, another thing in therapy that I think should be done is situational therapy. What happens if one of you loses your job? Is the other one going to step up? Is it okay if they step up? Are they going to be able to provide? Also, were you planning on having kids, and if you accidentally, are going to have some kids, is that okay? What are you guys going to do? How are you going to handle it? Is it going to be okay financially? There's a lot of issues and situations that you need to prepare yourself for before getting married. My second reason that I believe that it should be harder to get married is, or my second solution to solving divorce, I guess is better, is waiting longer to get married. How many people know someone who's already married and they're out of high school and got married? I know one of my roommates, she got married at 19. I cannot imagine being married right now. That is insane. I don't know what I want. I don't know about my major. I don't want to get married. I don't even. I like being single. Let's put it that way. I mean, that's a big issue. Waiting a long time. People don't know each other in 6 months. You don't know each other in a year. People change the most during this time too. Robert Graydon from Easing article says, statistics show that those who get married in their mid to late 20s are less likely to get divorced than those who marry at a younger age. And this group tends to be more satisfied in marriage than those couples who marry later in life. So getting married in your mid-20s or later, sometime in your mid to late 20s is the best. So wait until then. It's not that hard. Okay. Also, allow yourself to really get to know a person, because you're not going to get to know someone if you're always with them when they're happy. Also, in 4 Christmases, they were always on vacation. Of course, everyone's hunky-dory on vacation. If you're actually in a bad situation, though, are things going to be okay? Are you going to be able to make it through? Okay, last point. I suggest that the legal process of getting married is a little more difficult. Because right now, to get married in California, all you have to do is get a marriage license, register, and have ceremony information. That's not that hard. To register, that's pretty simple, and to get a marriage license, all you have to do is go apply, and you can have it, and it lasts 90 days. It's like a permit. It's really bad, but it's not good. But to conclude, if you can make it through, great. If you can't, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and heartache if you just do these things before you get married. So because the divorce rate is so high and the amount of work and effort that people are willing to put into marriage is so low, I strongly suggest and believe that we need to make it extremely thorough to get married. We need to truly get to know our significant others by spending time with them, good or bad. We need to change the simplistic views we have of marriage being a fairy tale into the realistic, dynamic, tough, and binding, yet beautiful commitment that it really is. If everyone could do this, not only could we lower the divorce rate, broken families, and heartache, but we could change our story. Once upon a time, a boy and girl meet, took their time to gently get to know one another. They fell in love, got married, made it through better or worse, richer or poorer, sickness and health, and lived happily ever after.
My shoulder's like on this. Not in the way.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I can scoot over. Okay.
Not a big deal.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Alright.
And the back of his head and, you know, the occasional hand, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. All right. What did we have doing the oral evaluation on that? Okay. Emily.
I really liked how her opening, tied in with her ending and vice versa. She did some really good statistics, kind of carried that 50% is going to get a divorce. I thought it was organized, but I didn't know so much about the preview. And then she had good eye contact and projection and interacted with the audience a lot. It wasn't just straight off her notes.
Okay. I like the introduction and the conclusion a lot also. I thought you had a pretty effective preview. Thought you developed the first point very well. The second and third points need a little bit more development. That third point especially, that you've got a solution that you're talking about here, but you don't really tell us, well, what should we do to make it more difficult? Should there be some prerequisite? Should people, for instance, be required to have some kind of training? Like you get a permit and then you go out and you practice and you have to do so many hours. You know, what should we require people before they get their marriage license? You know, that they, be engaged for X number of months, or that they show that they've completed a marriage training class, or the kind of, psychological assistance that you're suggesting here. I think that point needed to be developed a little bit more. I thought the presentation was pretty effective. You got better as you went along with your eye contact. At the beginning I thought it was a little iffy, but I thought it got stronger. You still are a little nervous. Your feet keep crossing while you're speaking, and so you could be a little bit more deliberative and purposeful in your movements there. But I thought, like I said, that your voice and your eye contact got better through the speech. All right, thank you.